Hello there everyone and welcome back. I might regret this decision, but I'm going to commit to it anyway, for I am going to try out the Shroud Fleet this time around, and with the winter sale this is probably as best of an opportunity I can have for maybe giving this fleet a good run, since as far as I'm concerned, any victories I pull off with this fleet, I am probably going to have to put an excruciating amount of effort into doing. Since it is going to be a slow and steady type of route, my opponents are likely going to be grabbing objectives far better than me in a lot of circumstances, and I am limited in my uses on some of my most potent abilities like this Lightning Link. I only get 2 uses of them, and hell, even any other abilities I do use that have charges, I am heavily restricted. Although really, with the big nerf that they made to have the capture speed change, that really hurts my fleet the most, I feel like, since this isn't a straight up fighting fleet, let's be honest, just because of how easily I could suffer engine critical hits with this fleet. So, I don't know what to make of this, but when the changes was made, I believe it was mostly due to the Vanguard fleet, the Space Marine heavy fleet that was prevalent for a little while for Space Marines, and maybe, I'm not entirely certain if this is true or not, but I think Corsairs may have been a guilty culprit as well. Since even with the changes, I feel like their light cruisers are the only ones that you could practically use, since they don't rely on direct engagements anyway, as part of their fleet strategy. Either way, that has really hurt this fleet quite significantly. I don't even think Shrouds or even light cruiser Necron fleets were even all that terrifying, or at least I don't recall encountering them very often. Hell, I'm trying to think way back to my first few videos with on Battlefleet Gothic's Armada 2's release rather, that I made comments about the Vanguard fleet in my first week with the Imperial Navy, trying to learn the nuances to them, and I think that's what ultimately inspired me to make this fleet. And I only got to enjoy it for maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks before it got hit with the massive nerf bat. But enough of my lamenting, let's see if there's possibilities here or not. Oh my. Not only are we face off against orcs, we're face off against the Gorguts. If I'm wrong though, I think you're in the wrong clan. I don't really know anything about Gorguts, I will be honest, so I thought maybe he was a Goth clan or maybe some kind of Blood Axes. I could be wrong there. My lore with orcs in general is kind of outdated. To be honest, they're one of the few factions I haven't really looked at the codex for either. And with my time with Adeptus Mechanicus on Armada 2, and even with the Mechanicus game, I'm really tempted to dive into their codex. I will be honest, I'm excited to learn more about them. I don't know if I'm going to go so ridiculous and to actually have Mechanicus army, because I'm doing a terrible enough job trying to paint my own armies as is. Because hell, my Blood Bowl team of the Ember Knights, I feel like they're in good shape as far as paint is concerned, but I feel like I could do a lot more with them, and I'm not getting around to it. And that's for my Blood Bowl team that I did recently. I have metal miniatures of them as well. And I'm really eager now, especially the more I talk about it, so I better shut up now, of making an Adeptus Mechanicus fleet. Otherwise, I think my main strategy is to have 2 of these frigates just exclusively grab points if I were to be serious, since that's where I'm going to have the hardest time early on. And we're going to try and take advantage of Structural Analyzer, since this is one of the few upgrades that haven't been nerfed by the lock-on trait, mainly because the Necrons don't have lock-on. And I don't know if I want my frigates here either. Actually, I may want my frigates to grab these points as well. Since we are dealing with orcs, they're already highly critical, highly volatile even. And this is the one fleet I might have a decent job against, but we gotta reveal them first and work from there. 5 ships is all I could tell you. Oh, and I forgot to move my frigates. They're not likely to grab points. Do I jump with them immediately? I probably do. Put pressure on my opponent to maybe use their big red button. And then I'll use the frigates maybe as a second wave. Because they should be able to very easily grab these objectives for me, and there's no way the orcs can actually conceal their ships for me, so I know that this is all they got. It's just a question of what these ships are, with that said, because they're all cruisers or battleships of some kind. So we have some time to kill. Hell, if I so... Actually, I could get so ridiculous and launch my fighters, but that is kind of pointless because keep in mind, one of the unique traits of these shrouds is they have extended sensor range. They can detect farther than my actual weaponry. So while it's incredibly tempting for me to just reveal them, it's a stupid idea. Let's be honest. Unless I had the part equipped, maybe there might be an exception for that. That's like the only weapon I could think of where it's justified for me to reveal them early. And I wonder if my opponent even knows what he's up against right now. Although, these two shrouds are not going to do a whole lot for a while, since I'm kind of like on their direct prow. So if they just boost towards me, I'm in trouble. I'm hoping, if possible, to grab these objectives, and at least force them to do something about it, since I'm going to grab the other two objectives, and those are easily battle cruisers at the very least, with two of them grabbing it that quickly. And I gotta remember, the hotkeys on scanner pulses changed. I'm gonna be so hesitant and thorough, making sure I'm doing these scanner pulses properly. That's one of the annoying things I always... That's always one of the annoying things I'm gonna have with the Necron fleets. A lot of their hotkeys are different. And let's see, you got torpedoes and hangar bays. And apparently you are not afraid to boost away. Oh well. I have an opportunity to blast it, so I'm going to try and do that. I would have liked to grab the objective, I won't lie. But we'll see about punishing these a bit. Actually, maybe if they're not paying attention, I could hit them with this. They certainly heard it, I'm pretty sure of that. Do they know what to do about it is the big question. Because my opponent, again, may not know what they're up against. If truth be told, and those torpedoes should not be terrifying. And I don't even see upgrades on them either, which makes me worry. My opponent... Well, I kind of feel like my opponent may be inexperienced already. Oh boy. This may be a terrible mistake, but... let's get on out and see about doing damage. Although wreckage is getting in my way, dang it.
The enemy is seizing one of your strategic areas. The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Can we hit this? Can we do damage and avoid ramming? Thank you. And I have fighters on everything, so hopefully this works. It helps if I didn't go after the wrong... if they didn't go after the wrong target. Which is probably why I should have double fired there, but... we got a good arc here for the trans-connect bolt. I'm going to do a lot of damage here. I got to get these guys going. I would like them to scanner pulse, ideally. But I'm doing enough damage as is to this battleship, so I think I'm okay. Now just try and damage this thing off somehow. Now I kind of would like to just grab this objective behind their ass. If that's at all possible. I just need to be quick about grabbing it. Alright, just salt run it is. We're going to negate this objective that you worked so hard on. And by worked hard on, I mean like took you maybe 10 seconds to grab. Especially since it was my objective, damn it. Alright. Can we kill this? They have tracked cannons and everything, so... and mega cannons, that's also another factor. But I am going to jump in a moment, and I do have the micro warp jump. Or not, inertialess drive rather. It is good damage, but now, how do I capitalize on that? Because that health is going to regenerate pretty well. I will be able to reveal the ship in a moment. And this objective is about to be taken. Can we abuse this? Because we got ridiculous mobility. And ideally I want to keep the flagship alive for a time, if possible. And due to my sensor range, it's actually pretty difficult to know when I'm actually in range to do maximum damage either. But you're suffering critical hits, that's good. I just told you to burn retros, which is probably a mistake. Let me start killing off some of these things. That's going to be the best case. It helps if you, let's see, just negate the boarding. That might have been a terrible idea because I can't actually hit this thing as I would like. Alright, we'll grab the objective here. Actually, I have scanner pulses. Let's keep that in mind.
You have seized a strategic
And I don't want group wars, please. That's the last thing I want.
The enemy has accumulated 25%
Thank you very much. So let's kill this thing off.
You have accumulated 25% of strategic points.
And keep in mind, I do have more abilities, but I'm having a terrible opportunity activating or using my, what is it? Chain Lightning. I suppose that shouldn't be a surprise, but I would love to utilize it. There. Now destroy the ship. However we can. Actually, I have fighters for that, let's be honest. So fighters should help deal with that.
Seizing one of your strategic areas.
4 seconds is all I need.
Has seized a strategic area.
So let's try and kill this thing off pretty well. Somehow, which is very unlikely with tractor cannons, keep that in mind, because this is also the flagship. And you have no frigates. This is kind of your own undoing too, to an extent. Is there anything I could do about that, though? Well, actually I can shoot now. I have freedom to shoot. I just gotta get more kills in for it to work. Come on. 5, 3, 1. There, it's dead. My fighters just barely did what was necessary of them. Now, can we kill this thing quickly? That's going to be the big trick, and I have ways to do that. Hopefully you can understand what I mean by having to put a lot of effort into making this work. Because I want to kill this, but I need the flagship in position, and I need a frigate to sacrifice. Which, that was a terrible idea, what that said. Or because I did it too preemptively. But I did terrify him, so there's always that. Alright, I panicked with everything, but let's get the damage that needs to be done. Kill this now. That's all I could probably hope for at the moment. And that will give me morale damage, and then I could swarm you quite decently. If you're just not going to panic right off the bat, that is. Kill the flagship. And cripple our friend here. Because I have good armor, so I could do decently enough as is. I just gotta make sure that dies.
You've accumulated 50% of strategic points.
And the one thing to keep in mind is my lightning strikes is just as impactful as my regular boarding, so that could be pretty good for me. Let's just get in short range with that said. Because I'm still outnumbered, there's still 2 cruisers to deal with, and you are in good shape to grab objectives for me. Yeah, I am still dealing with mega cannons, that's a bit of a problem. And I forgot about my fighters as well. Light this on fire, murder it. Because we got a very limited window right now. And hopefully that's all I need. With the fighters and everything else doing damage. I just need to get my silent running in order. Alright, so that's potentially 1 extra ship gone. Which is breaking right now, let's keep that in mind too. And just salt run with everything that can salt run. And then I'll neutralize this point in a moment. And I should just neutralize our point. Until they make another mistake. Someone's getting impatient. I consider this a win. I'm hoping to consider it a win. But if they start grabbing objectives, that's going to be tricky to do. Ah, dang it, I actually hit myself with that. That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate there. That's not what I want. And we'll see if we could grab objectives behind them, maybe. Because I can still do that. Well, actually, I am negating points behind them, so there's that, I suppose. Alright, so let's just harass them. And see about doing damage to this fleet. While I negate their points.
75% of strategic points.
3 seconds for a reload. Alright, if you want to play that game, that works by me. I think they may be getting a little impatient with my shenanigans. Let's see if we get the critical hits I want, though. Try and harass, try and do what I can, because, again, they have no frigates, I should be in my comfort zone. At least decently in my comfort zone.
75% of strategic points.
I just gotta continue to gain points. I'll get this eventually. I just gotta not screw up. Simplest rule ever, right? That should be a simple thing to ask, right? I doubt it, because I'm currently doing damage in an asteroid belt as well. And one of my ships weren't even invisible, so I'm kind of giving away part of my movement at the same time. So that point's neutralized. I think I can just focus on grabbing points right now. Alright, they got tired of this. I don't blame them. Sort of. I don't blame them. Now, thank God that didn't screw me over. Because imagine how easily that dynamic changes if I were to get engine critical hits at any point. That is what I'm most afraid of, especially with how I let myself get in Mega Cannon range. Hopefully, that was at least enjoyable. Alright, Tyranids, this is going to be a bit terrifying, just because they have the easy convenience of turning themselves around and just rushing my ass. Never mind the fact of how easy it is for them to just board me too. They don't have the A3 armor on the prow or anything like that, so I could still do notable amount of damage to them. I need to somehow figure out how to burn their rushes, and I think the only way I think I could do that is to have like 2 separate squads, kind of like how I've been doing before with my cruisers. Use these 2 as a bit of a bait, and then once they burn their movement, then have the rest of my fleet kind of harass them until the rush comes back off cooldown. Ideally, is the plan. But when they have adrenal glands to make that a little more difficult for me, I don't think it's going to work the best, if I were to be serious. And also, I'm not quite going to have the best convenience of beacons. Although lightning link's not likely. I would like to see... I want to say there's a use for Resurrection Orb. It's a 3-minute cooldown and I have to lose a third of my crew before it actually affects my ships. So I seriously doubt this is beneficial, but I want to use it, even with that said. And just for the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to swap these abilities around, just for easier hotkey use. I really do want to use the Resurrection Orb, but we are dealing with Pyracid. That's what it sounds like, which serves me really well, because I am immune to fire assaults, keep that in mind. So I could take the hits really well, but boarding damage is pretty significant. Because just one cruiser boarding me kills off a third of my crew just on this cruiser alone. So I'm kind of have to force to either take the hit, or or use my call arms and transfer my crew is probably what I realistically will do. And I'm going to have to try and get away with reactive hull shift to regenerate my crew as well. If I want to maximize my potential, that is. Actually, let's try and get a little bit of fission. Sure, I gave away my position, but I'm fine with that for the time being. I just gotta be mindful for when I recall them. Yeah, where's the beacon? They did not know it was going to go Shroud, so there's one benefit that this is a less experienced, or at least not a leveled up fleet. So I got that going for me, I just don't like the idea of spreading out like this. So I'm going to have to try and circle around, I suppose, at some point. And actually, maybe I can have my frigates try and harass. At least if I reveal them, that helps a bit. Because Krakens are really vulnerable to my fighters. That's one thing I do got going for me. As far as dealing with their vision. So let's see if that strategy works out to how I want to believe it'll work. Pyracid cruisers. So these are cruisers, not battle cruisers.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
So, just harass them best I can with these fighters. Get what kills I can get.
You have seized a strategic area.
And I do have Silent Running to make this easy to hide myself. Just take my time, get what kills I can, and then work from there. Because these, in theory, should not be able to get away from my fighters, even with their double rushes. And that was definitely convenient, wasn't it? Alright, so how do we work from here? Because I'm kind of forced to forfeit my position to leave them guessing a tiny bit. And I'm not even going to get this objective, so let's not try for it. Let's instead circle around. And I don't think I can light you on fire the best, but it's fine by me because that wasn't crushing claws on this one, right? Yeah, just the tentacles. Which I'm okay with. Now let's continue killing off these frigates somehow.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Yep. Helps if I actually move with you. Even if it's not necessary. Yep. These frigates should die pretty soon. We have the same armor, so that's a good benefit for me. But I'm also stuck in a spore field. That's something I did not really think much on. Alright, so this beacon should expire soon. And I want to see if I can at least get some damage in. At least tonight I'm using the gas cloud. And hopefully I can kill this oh yeah, I'm still in the spore field and that is damaging me. Let's not get too complacent. And I want you to grab the objective, even though that was a bit of a wasteful jump. I just thought I had them moving there ahead of time. So don't grab the point quickly. I have the beacon to cover for this gas cloud. And now that they're separating, I have maybe a good opportunity to harass their ships while they're separated. That's what I want to try and do. Nope, can I hit? Can I hit? Aw, no hit. And I'm doing a bad job controlling this ship, I won't lie. Thankfully, they're only strangle tentacles, which are very damn micro-intensive. So I don't think my opponent's going to have an easy time making it work. Alright, let's just minimize this damage that we're taking on ourselves. And I will have 3 points to my advantage, so I think the smart thing would be to wait for those two. Try and see if I can kill them off quickly. Solid run, hide, conceal. And, well, I should keep an eye out for those frigates, which I could have waited for, I suppose. Since they were still in the gas cloud, I saw a tiny blip as a result of that glitch. Now, I want to give you guys a hard time. I hope you don't mind. Although they are directly flying towards me and they have rush, keep in mind. Now, maximize damage. I want a scanner pulse with one of these. And I'm waiting for the rushes, or at least the adrenal gland, but I should have enough damage to make this work, right? And again, they are pyro asset, they don't really... They're not going to work against my Necron ships the best. I just want to minimize ram, ideally, and even then, I'm kind of best equipped for their ramming. I don't like you dying, though, if I can help it.
The enemy has accumulated 25% of strategic
Just
points.
reload, try maximize damage, kill these shields, because that's really important. And their ship should break before mine. And they're making their way over, too, so... So far, we got ourselves a victory. Let's actually reveal these things quickly, but I don't think I can get away with it. They're going to get in the gas cloud before I do that, huh? Nope, we're good. I'm still decent, because I killed 2 of the cruisers off, and my light cruiser will regenerate most of its health. Just not most of its crew. So there's them dead. Uh-oh. No! Pull me as much as you like, but you're not killing the crew. And that's what matters most, I'm afraid to say, if you're going to go with this kind of mixed up type of fleet. Alright, get in the gas cloud, hide yourself. We have Shroud effect, and I want to take full advantage of it. Disappear like the mist. And if possible, I would like to board this thing some more, or at least do more fighter damage, but it's not looking possible yet. Alright, so Silent Rain's now coming up and operational. Everything is pretty much hidden at this point. We are safe to continue with our plans for world domination, or galactic domination, I suppose. And I should get this really easily, but I gotta stop ramming myself, because I'm worried that's what's happening here. Will that die in time, actually, is what I'm afraid of. Maybe the fighters will get recalled beforehand, because it is regenerating health still. So I should kill that, or try shooting it to get the kill. Now, Beacon's gonna find me. They're sadly reconcealed, so that's gonna be a bit problematic, but I can reposition myself easily. And I'm hearing scanner pulses. I don't know what to make of that. Ah, dang it, the fighters got away. Or the fighters did not do what they were supposed to, and that justifies what I was afraid of. And that fire assault's not going to kill it because, again, it's regenerating health. That basically is equivalent to one fire assault with how quickly it regenerates. Oh, that's the slow one, so I need to cancel that quickly. It is slowly killing off his total health, though, so I have that going for me. Hell, I kind of want to ram you, if I were to be honest. Since you don't have Crushing Claws or Massive Claws, I get to win this ramming game. And I wasn't prepared for this beacon to be on my ass. So that's a bit of a setback, but I think we're okay. Let's just kill this one frigate. This possibly one final frigate. I just need to make sure I keep vision on it until the fighters arrive. And keep in mind, I am regenerating health. It is a very slow process, but I am regenerating health. So these downtimes work well for me. Although, I think the asteroid belt will do more damage to me if I were to jump through it. So, for the sake of preserving my fleet... Oh god, it has massive claws. Run away! Abort! Abort! Just do the one thing I want you to do, which is to keep vision. Stupid Tyranid. Didn't realize this was all a ruse. This was all a bait. Joke's on me, though. I'm kind of taking asteroid belt damage. Alright. So you get the hell out. Although I kind of put you back in a spore field. And hope that the fighters do the job they need to.
You have accumulated 75% of strategic points.
This is going to be silly, but I have a good vantage point. And we have two cruisers here to annihilate, and this time I have pretty much all my entire fleet here to fight.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
So we're going to grab the objective, but I'm ready to fight these guys head on. No, stop chomping. No. Bad, Kraken, bad. You're not allowed to nom on the jackal. It is not a boomerang, it is not a toy. We are not playing catch. And for a moment I was worried that maybe I was going to hit my own orb there. Transdimensional bolt. Either way. Let's try and kill these things off. While we have the perfect opportunity for it. I have the health, I'm willing to commit to this. And my lightning strike's just as impactful as my regular boring. There. Krakens are all dead. And I'll happily take the ramming damage from these fellas. To be honest, this is kind of a mismatch for Tyranids just a little bit, since they rely so heavily on fire assaults for their pyroacid damage. even if I'm not well equipped to even fight them head on. But with good boarding and good use of the strangle tentacles they did have, they could... Oh my god. Yeah, they're crippling me still pretty well, with that said.
The enemy has accumulated 50% of
Just
strategic
tag
points.
the tail and we're done here in a moment. Just hide in the gas cloud and reconceal ourselves. And if possible, can I regenerate my health? That should help boost my health regen a bit. Oh, you're still on reload, so that doesn't help me. I want to check, see if that was true. So yeah, that regenerates basically 2 health a second, so that helps a lot with my durability there. Especially if my cripple ship's the one currently getting hit. And I have pyramidal reconstruction. Well, hold that thought. This match is over. I hope that just wasn't frustrating for my opponent. Because I kind of just danced around them and avoided their fleet quite a bit. Never mind the fact that I had the advantage of ignoring their fire assaults. I do hope it was a good match for them, but it feels like I've been crushing their fleets when I do engage them, with how quickly you see me murder their cruisers. Alright, now my run potentially comes to an abrupt end. I want to believe anyway, since I'm going to have to get through all that 83 armor and they could jump on my ass immediately. That's going to be a bit of the catch, but the philosophy should be the same as what I was playing with Tyranids. I just try and bait their jump in with my smaller portion of my fleet or some kind of bait, and then let more of my firepower just harass them at a distance, but we still need to get rid of their frigates somehow. That's gotta be the ultimate trick. Actually, let me swap it around like this. There we go. That works better. I do get maybe a consistent amount of critical hit bonus from my, structural analyzer, but this is going to be a terrifying matchup still. Because, again, kind of like how the battleships and cruisers get better capture speed progress, the Necron ships, the larger the vessel is, the faster they regenerate their hit points. So I'm also in all sorts of trouble just on that merit alone. So how are we going to make this work? Well, just trying to get as many free transdimensional bolts hits in as I can. And when I do commit to the lightning link, I need to damn well commit and make sure that actually kills our target in the process. That's the dream, at least. Especially if we're dealing with double tomb ships, that's going to be a big factor. Otherwise, it comes down heavily to how well I can avoid getting jumped on by their inertialess drive. Because they're already immediately jumping in. Plus side, it is a less experienced opponent, but we're dealing with a cruiser, a battle cruiser, and a battleship, so it's not the most consistent fleet we normally see, but still a terrifying one. I'm just wondering if maybe... Do I even want to fire that bolt? Because I worry about hitting myself. And maybe I could get a lucky shot in, but let's be honest. This might be doing me a disservice just revealing my position. If nothing else.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
And there they are already grabbing the point. Not a lot I can do about that. And they also have the Star Pulse wave, which means my fighters are very restricted in what they can do. Unless they burn that preemptively. Which with 83 armor, you would think they shouldn't use the Star Pulse wave. Alright, so... They do know where I'm at least with these guys. I don't know if any other fighters have been launched, but I see at least the one there. If I can engage this fleet while it's isolated, that'd be great. That's kind of what I would like most, but I don't... It's going to be a tall order to do. And
The enemy
so long
has
as I
seized the
don't see
strategic
a
area.
blip, that just means it's in the gas cloud. And I'm gonna have to somehow grab these points while they're pushing out elsewhere. So you are revealed. That doesn't do a whole lot, because my frigate's just eventually gonna shoot you down. You got 4 charges of them. That's a bit of a problem.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Alright, and I heard a scanner pulse, which doesn't mean much at the moment. And we could tell right now my opponent's just hiding in the gas cloud. I seriously doubt I got a hit, but
You have seized
we
a
got
strategic
objectives.
area.
Let's see if we could do more. I was wondering what happened there. Just a delay, so let's pressure that. I have the firepower to just kill this. Actually, I kind of want to just ram this to speed it along. And watch if those stirs the... Okay. Well, sadly, they know where I'm at now. But I actually did hit him. It may not mean much, but I actually did hit him. Now, am I going to be able to get some hits in of some kind? That's kind of what I was waiting for. And remember what I said about committing to this? I have to commit to this. At least partially. Yep, there's the mass recall, so they have all the weapons available. Flagship's gonna die quickly, though. I wish I could have committed more, but... I need to kill something for this to really matter. Oh yeah, you did recall, so let's grab these objectives while we're at it. And I can keep damaging this. It's going to be tricky to do, though. And you are just bored to death, so let's just kill it. Simple story, kill the cursed thing. And I'm going to use the fighters to help with that some. And I'm hoping my deck will repair on its own. Your engines have been damaged, so maybe I could do something with that. And I'm not going to be able to keep this objective any longer. So, just going to have to see if I could keep damaging the flagship somehow. And with the frigate gone, maybe I have the convenience of being able to go wherever I want, but... Gonna have to wait for him to make a mistake first.
The enemy has accumulated.
And this is regenerating a lot of its health at the moment, too. Dang it, that was not what I wanted. I did not pay attention to the fact that my crew got heavily damaged there. Well, this is really awkward to try and utilize, but we'll see what we can do. Just try and bait it around elsewhere. Although it's going to get revealed and killed because of that engine loss. I am neutralizing points, but that doesn't help a whole lot yet. And I didn't hit the flagship either. And you can scanner pulse all 3 of them. So I just gotta watch to see if they do anything tricky for me to worry about. I was wondering what happened to my ships and they're jumping, but okay. Can we continue damaging this somehow? Because the rest do have jumps still. And they're about to grab this objective without even trying. Let's keep that in mind too. Alright. That's convenient there, that helps a little bit. And I'm suffering latency spikes, which I don't want either. Can we damage this somehow? I do have the lightning link, but probably not the health to do it effectively enough. Just get out of the range and that'll be good.
You have seized a strategic area.
Although you're about to get hit, so evade, evade. We are grabbing objectives, so I have that going for me. Now continue grabbing said objectives with them evading.
You have accumulated 25% of strategic points.
So I just barely survived there, and these fighters are still being annoying. Go away, damn fighters.
Seized a strategic area.
I'm just gonna lose this outright. In the combat aspect of things. Since they're grabbing the objectives so damn quickly, and I'm not getting the critical hits I would like. And the lightning link did amazing damage, but I can't really follow up on it, can I now? Which is the big problem. And I don't even need the reconstitution.
The enemy has accumulated 50% of strategic points.
So let's just hope that I can prolong the inevitable, I guess. Because I'm losing ships, they're just being hemorrhaged, and for some reason, I just got a grayed out icon for my inertialist jump. And yeah, maybe what I should have done is focus on the cruisers instead. At least they have a lot less health in that regard. I could still possibly win still, but it's not looking promising still. Because trying to go after these... Let's see, you don't have a star pulse generator. Oh, actually you do have a star pulse generator. Never mind that. I should lose this match. I just hate... how the hell could I do that better? Again, I could have focused on a cruiser of some kind. I was caught off guard a little bit because they have these upgrades which are not really useful for them, if I were to be serious. Let's see, that should deny him fission for a good bit. And they're just going to immediately take these objectives, which is the main problem I'm going to have with this type of mirror match anyway. Because otherwise, I'm kind of forced to have to overpower them when they deathball like this. And now, with the flagship gone, I can't really grab this objective. Well, I can't repair the engines is what I'm trying to say. I should, so long as my ships aren't dying, I guess I could be okay still, but... Again, they're very likely going to get these objectives quickly. And they can jump me at a moment's notice. So it's just a shame I had to lose the flagship. That was the main way I could have done damage here.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
It's still possible to win this, I guess, just due to my opponent not taking the objectives as seriously, because now I could really do some damage to this thing. I just don't have the firepower, with that said. And I should have actually engaged their ship, but Star Pulse Generator would have negated that, let's be honest. You are about to die, sadly. You have no health left. And I told my ships to not go after the cruiser either. Because I don't really realistically expect them to survive. So that's permanently gone. Alright, cold arms, let's just minimize that damage some.
have accumulated 50% of
See what we can do here, because I still got frigates that can move and grab points as soon as they evade. Is there maybe somehow, if its engine's gone, I could do damage? This sadly is gonna die in a moment. Yep, I'm just hemorrhaging points still, alas. And that's gonna continue once this frigate gets spotted. Alright, let's see if we can at least stay behind them and do damage. I just don't have much boarding damage that I can do. Thank you for that, because now that just gave me permission to board, to send units after you. And sadly, you don't know how to utilize your Awakening Warrior the best either. So, there was a jump there. Okay, that's kind of what I expected. So let's just try and grab this objective somehow. Negate them grabbing this, and actually the frigate did survive, if only just barely. Which means I can launch more fighters to support, but just think about the amount of hit points I'm going to have to get through. A3 armor is going to be a bit of a pain. And if I stay off this objective, well, they're just going to easily reset it. So I'm going to have to commit to this some and take the damage as I can.
The enemy has seized a strategic
Otherwise, all I can
area.
do is maybe hope there's a chance I can win. Because right now, well, they have 3 points to my 2. It's not looking likely, let's be honest. And they're about to get those 3 points in a moment too.
75% of strategic points.
That's unfortunate. Just ran right into the frigate. My biggest problem is, like I said, I should have gone after a cruiser and not the flagship. Sure, it's impressive damage, but what did it ultimately do for me? Although, again, a lot of it does come down to the fact that I was caught completely off guard by the... well, you keep awakening warriors. That's not helping you, I'm afraid to say. But I got completely caught off guard by the mass recall due to these skills that I argue may not be very useful, especially against a mirror match.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
I would love to have my flagship right now. Imagine how much more easier it'd be to kill this thing. Which is the ultimate strategy behind this fleet, is to force them to spread out to eventually do the kind of damage where I can isolate them and kill them. But right now, it's not looking good. I have to somehow kill this thing. And for that to work, I need you to actually grab the point. This match will end eventually, mainly because of the objectives forcing it, my demise. I still have all my weaponry though, so there's always that. But I rely almost exclusively on the flagship to do any real damage to this fleet. It's just a shame it had to get picked off like it did. And speaking of which, there goes one of my weapons permanently destroyed. So I'm going to lose this objective almost instantly because that's a battle cruiser, not a regular cruiser. Keep that in mind. Which makes me think I should just abandon the point. And even if I kill this cruiser, it's not enough points. It won't give me enough points because this is what, only 200, I think. So yeah. Just bad execution of the main battle itself is what did it for me. Because one of these cruisers could have been dead, and my opponent is using their fleet poorly too with this Awakening Warrior. Keep that in mind. They keep burning that ability when it doesn't really help them very much. They could have been launching fighters. Maybe all of them are dead. That might have been why.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
So you have no particle whips just yet. I could be thankful of that, maybe. Now they have -1 particle whips. Don't ask me how that is.
You have seized a strategic area.
Yep, this is over. With 3 objectives, and my own fault there for losing its objective. Yeah, I can't win this now. Just letting the flagship die was the main cause of this demise. Just a couple of, transdimensional bolts alone just makes killing this thing so much easier. Well. All my efforts undone so easily because of how much quicker the battlecruiser and battleships grab the objectives. It's a little annoying, because I feel just underpowered there. I rely so much on these abilities. And again, that may have turned out differently if I had gone after a proper target. Since sure, I did half the damage to the flagship, but I wasn't able to follow it up. I wonder how I could have done that engagement differently. It helps if I knew if they had mass recall, I guess.